think we go back 2012, I was told to find a goal. So I did the Western Swimming Pool TT Challenge, and that, I was a fairly big lad at that point, and I hadn't swum for 15 years, and I threw myself at that and did that in the 12 weeks and raised loads of money for a hospice for my late father-in-law. And then so I did that, and then we did the parish, and we got to Peel, and then came the marathon, and I did that from nothing. I literally went from barely running 5k to a marathon in 30 weeks, and that was amazing. And I trained hard, and I was like an athlete. And then, as I was saying a little earlier, I got to the finish line, across the finish line, and wow, I've done it, yes, and what am I going to do now? And at that point, I fell off the cliff, and I just became depressed again. So fast forward, a couple of mums come to me, said, we'd like to run a half marathon. Can you coach us? Why not? I said, let's do that. So I coached them across the line. That was brilliant. And from there on, I realised that actually this is a good thing. I enjoy being with people. I can talk, we can be open, we can be honest. And so next thing I know, I'm talking to the ladies about me going to get my run leader certification, and that happened. And then all of a sudden, Liam's Run Together, which is part of the national thingamajiggy, can't remember the word, national brand, happens, and then we're here.
And do you know, the great thing about the sessions, and I've only been going for a couple of weeks, is that it is just a space where you can just be yourself. You have a bit of a moan, maybe just talk about, just nothing, but just focus on just getting through 45 minutes and hopefully not collapsing in a heap somewhere. Is that just me?
That is that. You see, this is the thing, because it's when we talk about the fact it's running, people do get put off by it, but it really isn't that at all. It really is about getting out, getting some fresh air, doing some exercise, having a laugh, having a giggle, and I will push you at the point when I think now's the time to push you. So did you know this Friday, for instance, she's been talking about the weather, we're going up Walpole Avenue.
What, Beth? You're going to go up Walpole?
Yeah. First time.
Yeah,
and she was saying at the start of the show about the rain coming down. We can't go out on Friday.
It's going to
You
be
were
very
looking
windy.
for excuses.
Yeah.
Maybe the wind will be behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can help you up the hill.
Yeah, thanks, guys. There was a great event yesterday as part of World Mental Health Awareness. It was the Run and Talk in Peel, and I think it's fair to say you were completely blown over by not the wind,
not by the wind,
but by the response that there was to that.
Absolutely, yeah. So Run Together and England Athletics put on the Run and Talk in association with Mind, mental health charity, and 150 run and talk sessions across the country are taking place this week in various shapes and forms. So I put one on yesterday, and I was expecting maybe 4 or 5 people to turn up. We had just over 20, and what was nice is it was people from other running groups from across the island. So hello to the guys over at Let's Run here in Douglas, because they came across and they ran with us, and it was such a wonderful thing to just run with lots of different people. And I was running up and down the prom in between all the groups, and very overwhelmed to start with, but actually what a great experience, and I can't wait to do the next one.
And that ties in with something you found from Bryony Gordon.
Yeah, she's someone I follow for a little while, Bryony. She's an author and a podcaster, very interesting person. And she has always struggled with mental health issues. She has quite extreme OCD. And when she was going through a particularly bad time, she decided that it would help if she could find other people like herself and it could sort of collaborate with them, maybe get together with them in some way. And so she put out a tweet on her feed just saying, if anyone wants to meet me in Hyde Park on Valentine's Day, I can't remember what year it was now, 2010 or something, she thought maybe a couple of people would turn up. 20 people joined her. And ever since then, she has carried on having these walks, and this whole sort of idea of it has expanded. They're walk and talks, essentially. It's called Mental Health Mates, and she has this hashtag Find Your We, as in who you are, and it's just people getting together and walking and talking together, and it's huge. And so she says, remember, you aren't part of the we, and having met a fair few of them, I can tell you now that the members of that are pretty awesome. So it's lovely. So again, it's another way of doing it. So if you're not quite fit enough to do the running, you can still get together and walk with people, because I think, as you're saying, Liam, a lot of it is about the communication, isn't it?
Absolutely. I would. My aim for all of this is just to get people out on their sofa. And if someone was to come to me as a first point of contact and say, look, I want to try this, and it turned out that running wasn't for them, because obviously running's not for everybody, I will quite happily, and I've been vocal about it, put them in touch with the local gym owners, get them in touch with a different group on the island, because any form of activity is going to help those endorphins get going.
And just following on from that, because you were talking about the fact you did the marathons yourself initially, and then you got to the end of it, and then you'd spiral again. What is it about doing this then that is different for you?
I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on everybody else. So by helping others, I'm then getting a sense of satisfaction that I'm never going to get by trying to improve myself.
And you post some incredibly powerful things on Facebook, and I'm not even sure if you realise just what an impact they make. But there was something you posted yesterday in the run-up to the Run and Talk session. See the little pun there. And I just wondered, just leading into the break, whether you would mind reading it for us.
Of course. My brain is running at a zillion miles an hour with many what-ifs about tonight's run, and already feel nervous. Totally unnecessary, but trying to keep zero expectations and staying in the moment. It's really quite hard. I've actually been okay the last few weeks, and I've been somewhat stable with my thoughts and feelings. I now accept that I will have good days and bad days, which is great, but I can't shake the feeling that at some point something will happen, or I'll make a catastrophic error that proves that I'm as useless as I sometimes feel. You being there for me has changed my life. Running with each and every one of you has been a true pleasure, and I hope we can continue for many years to come. My name's Liam, and I am enough.